Alright, so now I'm going to go over a little bit of an old game. It's not that old, but a week or so. And it's playing Koitimi in our defense. Yeah. And here there are many critical options. Queen I12 is one of them, because this bishop is not really hanging because the counterattack is pretty strong, especially if red plays queen k5. And now we're just playing solid moves. And then I've been playing this move really quite a lot lately. It's a tricky one. Possibly I should stop doing it though. I mean, there's something I didn't consider here is knight k4. And now probably there needs to be some urgency now. Like if this one happens, I'm curious. So now my queen is hanging. That's kind of unfortunate. So if I bring my queen back, takes not there. I mean, there's a lot of funky stuff here. Yeah. So now this move is the only one that's kind of saving, because there is some idea here. So now if I take it, knight check, and if blue was not there, then this would be checkmate. Yeah, but that was not working. So if I drop back, yeah, so I can't really allow the double check, that's too much. So let's say he just takes. Fastest way forward, right? And now I imagine blue will play something like this. Takes is that taking is not really helping. I wonder, like, this is tricky. Okay, take that. And now what about that one? Like here, we could be in for some crazy stuff here. Like this check. Now this check kinda ends the game. Yeah. So the problem is there, then I'm getting mated, I think. So takes, yeah, that's mating one. So you can't take. Yeah, this might be a really strong move. So the bishop there is threatened. You might have to sacrifice a piece now. I mean, give back a piece. Wow. What a strong move. So maybe I made a mistake there. Yeah, queen g5. What a move. Like, take, and now there's no queen g7. And if queen g7 then takes, I mean, this is still dangerous. What about this one? Okay, so check. So if you block, I take, takes back, goes knight, takes my rook, I take back, and I think I'm surviving. And this is tricky. So I think this was, but now that he plays this move, what's his plan really? Like, let's say you block that one. So now, if there, I can take, yeah, like so. Then I can take that, and this is checkmate. So probably this is a good attempt. Yeah, this Scheveningen pawn structure from classical might be something I will try more, because I've kind of played the dragon setups with d10 and just keeping this really solid structure. I think that's nice, but there's also something to be said for this kind of fluid setup. You're kind of securing your king a little bit better. You're not forced to move the knight to the center. On the other hand, your dark squares are slightly weaker. That's one of the points with the opening, is that blue gets a really safe king usually, and then green is the one that has to play accurately. So normally I've been playing green in these positions and Koitimi blue. So yeah, so this is not playable, but maybe you can attack Bannedy's queen. And now I can probably trade, and he just takes back, and I assume moving the queen out is kind of the way to go here. Now maybe not that one. Yeah, maybe this one. So you want to hit the red queen. So now if it moves anywhere random, then queen f5 with queen takes k2 might be a problem. But this queen is also defended, so yeah, hard to say. I think we are fine here. The critical idea was to play c8, because then there's no opening up the bishop and hitting my queen. So this is normal. Bishop g3. Now just securing the king. So this is a super knight. Now blue's king is pretty much safe for the rest of the game. I mean, you can remember this kind of setup. It's like the pawns take all the dark squares, and then the knight covers the light square to get rid of the bishop. And then this knight will come out eventually. You can start pushing your kingside pawns because this central structure is so solid. The only downside with this is that the queen has a little bit of an awkward time getting in. So one example would be, what if red plays d4 here? Then you're never getting queen out. And then, I don't know, maybe you'll play it the long way, or you're just playing without the queen for a moment, but that's not a big deal. I noticed that many players like to keep it at home, let's say. Now normally I like playing d11 here, because then the knight on c9 is really solid. So if you get this one in, like this kind of hollow structure, then it's all about whether green gets checkmated or not. If I survive this, then I think we are in a great position. But you know, I might also not survive. I mean, like Blue has been taking his time, let's say, playing it really slow. So now I'm feeling it kind of getting critical. Yeah, probably. Probably it's time to offer the queen trade, actually. So now if probably some queen l6 is kind of problematic. One idea is that blue just sets the king up for a check. I mean, sets up a check, and then like here there's no winning a piece because of knight e10. And if he takes the queen, I just take back the red queen. And finally, I mean, red will get some material back, but this kind of thing, I mean, here you could even take with the pawn. It's typical me to take with that pawn, because then you get king m6, which is really nice. Yeah, I think I would have taken with the pawn. Now, taking the rook, I mean, you're not really scared of that one. Bishops are quite strong in closed or semi-closed positions. I mean, the blue rook was the really best one, so, but you know, that light squared bishop is also super strong. So that's probably something to look into in the future. I'm not sure if they could have improved here. Maybe just developing the bishop or pushing the pawn. I guess this is the way to challenge me in this kind of setup, because this knight is really critical. Probably it's time to, let's see. I mean, it's either playing d11 or queen out. I think I'll try queen out for now. The idea is that after some k5 we might be able to block off the main attack with knight l5, and the blue queen can be taken in case we need it. So now let's just keep pushing there. I imagine this is playable, but also this might be. Let's just throw a pawn out there. This is critical. Now you need to find the square. Probably it's hard to do. This is probably the best I can see. Now you're really up for it. I mean, you're really feeling it now. If you try this, I mean, this is risky. Like, probably this must be played now. Trying to offer the queen trade. So if queen takes m7, queen takes m7, queen takes m7, then there's queen takes m7. Many queen takes m7s there, like 4 in a row. Yeah, and finally I can take with the king, and it's probably fine. I guess we need to throw in a knight k10, knight e10 in some cases. Like here, if knight e10, I mean, if he plays knight l10, I might just take it regardless of what he plays. So I'm not sure knight e10 was really necessary. Yeah, probably not. Here you can just attack. This looks annoying. Yeah, so if you get to the end game with green and blue here, you're really happy. So I imagine this is something you should try. Now I think d4 is the way to play this. You're trying to isolate the blue queen and then attack green. It's a little bit weird to play d4. It's a little bit slow, but at the same time you're keeping the queen out for quite some time. I mean, you could play really risky and capture this. That's really double-edged. I wouldn't do it. Like, let's say a waiting move. Push. No. Yeah, it's a game, but you'll have to think about this. This is kind of a direct consequence of my provocative play in the opening. But it's how you have to play this for blue and green, because if I don't do that, then suddenly red just starts hitting blue really early with these annoying moves. And until the knight is established on d8, then you're not safe. So that's why, like, really early on here, you can already try queen l12 or queen and queen j11. So let's keep the game going. Also, you should note that it's a possibility to sack the queen in many of these variations, and let's just transpose for the sake of argument. So normally red should play queen k5 so that there's a more incentive with capturing with the queen. And then you take, yellow takes, I take with the king, red takes, and now you can get away with playing some. Now knight d8 is the way I thought was playable. Now it's not all roses. The problem for yellow is that this bishop is the only one playing. I mean, if blue can survive, then it's a game. Right now it's a rook and a bishop, I think, for the queen, which is really it's an interesting imbalance. I guess something like Knight d12 is very critical here. And I want to play something like this. So I want to come into defense of blue. I think moving the bishop back, so now you're setting up this really nasty check. And maybe this is where you have to... Oh yeah. Now I offer trade. Oh. One way to play this is to move the queen. And now your king can kind of run to a7. There is the possibility to play this kind of thing, and then you check. Now the king should run. And I think taking the rook, I take that one, takes back, and now the bishop is hanging. I mean, you can take it in many ways. And now the knight is trapped. So I think this is kind of good for blue and green. So you don't want to... I think maybe here you should play something different. Maybe already this was a bit of a mistake. Possibly you should just develop the bishop. I mean, this looks like a good idea, because then you're getting some dark squared control as well. So I would still play like this. And now, I mean, this is the only way to offer the trade, so maybe red should play this direct attempt instead. But now I'm feeling, I'm not sure. So if you offer the trade, no, you need space for the king. Now I imagine moving the bishop, but maybe it's time to move the yellow bishop as well. So now it's safe. So I hit the rook, you check, king over. Now let's say some interesting bishop maneuver. Now I will just comply. Like this. So the idea is pretty simple. Bishop there. So the way to stop that is to play the knight in the middle. And then you need to look for some alternative way to get there. Let's see. I mean, there are a lot of tricks coming now. Probably just this one actually. I mean, what does it do if you just hit his pawn? Because now you're going for the long route again. It's kind of a weird thing to do, but I don't think this knight really wants to be back. If I play this one, moving the knight, and he can pick up my bishop. Okay. So probably now it's time for green to take control of that diagonal. So now it's stopped again. I mean, you're looking at this position and you're thinking, how can this possibly be good for red and yellow? But you're just thinking about this king, like, it's really not safe. Possibly I made some inaccurate moves in the beginning here. Like, let's just go the shortest route. So I'll just not believe anything. What's a decent attempt? Like, probably you can try to block out the bishop here. Yeah, that looks very reasonable if you ask me. Probably you would like to develop some pieces. And now this critical attempt. So what I imagine doing here is playing this kind of move. So now maybe check is nice. Yeah, that looks really good. So now the queen is really in danger. Not even sure how you save this. But on the other hand, we did win the rook, so yeah, so it's if they win the queen back for the bishop, then it's even material, but my bishop is trapped. So now you're just kind of looking at getting the most out of this queen, let's say. I mean, it's not also not forced, you could just block here. This check is not really going anywhere. Yeah, I think this is... it's hard to play for blue. And possibly it's a good queen sack. So keep that in mind. I also had some tricky ideas with queen l8 here, but then you just take, and you might even lose your knight. So the game went along normal strides, and now I blocked out the bishop, which is if I don't, then I can't really move with my queen anyways. There might be something to be said for playing L7 eventually, but not yet. So now I kind of secured the blue queen on the king side. I would have looked into playing k4 here. I probably need to... nah, I think d4 is the best, but if you want something else, then k4. I will probably play k5 eventually. So going to l6 is really dangerous. Like, if you do it in a really crude way. I had a game that went like this. Like now I can... the only thing is that now I can keep the queen a little bit more active. So now if you try to push him off the file, let's just look at something kind of... block that one, push, and now let's just develop. And also for yellow, now there, take, and then is this good? I hope not. Yeah, it might be good. Oh yeah. So now you play knight e10 or knight knight e11 for that sake of argument. So now if you attack my rook, I take the queen. I mean, still, this is interesting. Now if probably you should play check here. Takes. And now move the bishop. So if I capture the knight, then we'll lose a piece. Oh yeah, this is better. And then if you hit the rook, move over, and then I check him next move and we win the bishop. So probably this is a bad move. You could block it with that one. And now you offer the trade of bishops. So if you take, I take the knight, takes there, I threaten the check. Wait, are we down a piece now? Yeah, we might lose a piece there. Because the rook would be hanging. No, I'm not sure there. Yeah, probably you should play, well, if you play a waiting move, then check. You take the rook. Very nice. Yeah, the other thing is, like, you could move the knight there. Now the fork. There are tricks. Oh, not. That might be a good move. Anyways, so let's return. I think this is a hard thing to meet. Probably I should have played k5 here. Yeah, this looks like an improvement. I mean, there are tricks. I wouldn't be totally happy here. Like, if I go here, will I get severely punished or not? Okay, so there's not really a threat here. Ooh, oops. So now I have the check in case yellow sets up something. And castles. Wait. What if? Oops. What if captures there? What if there? What? No. Don't tell me that. This is sad. I can't really get to cover yellow. If I take a mated, probably I need to block out the queen here. You have to do what you have to do, right? Yeah, this is not easy to play at all. It's always like this. If you survive a screen, then the game is great for you. But if not, you might get in trouble real fast with this kind of opening. Okay, so we will keep going. They allowed us to activate the queen. And now the king is pretty secure because the blue queen is helping in the defense. And now I could offer the queen trade because red is on the knight. Here the issue is if you try something fancy, then red has a tempo move on the rook next. And I think now we are through the worst, and I think we are better now. It was all fine until I made a mistake. So the mistake was right here. Here I made a mistake. I should have played bishop h7 so that the queen is hit. What I did was I prepared a sneaky checkmate with bishop l8 and queen takes f2, but it's really not working, and now we're losing a knight. I mean, we sacked the queen here because this knight is so strong, so given a pawn in hand as well, I think that was the only decision. And now picking up the bishop, because I mean the idea was that I would play bishop h7, so yellow stopped it. And you don't really want to play bishop l4 here because red just takes it. So we played that one. So we sacked the queen. They took. And I think here we probably made a mistake. We could have taken the queen. It's not that easy, but you gotta do it. So we would be down an exchange there, but my rook would get into the game really easily, and also yellow will have to trade off the rook for the remaining blue rook, and then we have blue is down to a knight, but wait, is that right? Yeah, so if you take the queen here, are we really down to a knight? Take. Yeah, it would be just an exchange, but then I'm pretty much going to have to win the game. I mean, this passer is kind of dangerous, so I wouldn't count us out there. And now I went with a crazy knight. So here was the point where red probably could have improved. Kutimi suggested some queen h9 after the game, but I thought king m8 and it wasn't that bad. But you have to imagine that red and yellow were better at this point sometimes. Here it was not easy at all. Already after this queen f3 check, it's tricky because my knight will always get checks. The least I will get is a rook. As happened in the game, I took the rook and won the queen. So now we're just up a rook. And this was pretty much a mop-up. Although we could have probably done it easier, I think trading the final yellow rook was a good decision. So once we have cleared them of their chances of mating pretty much with the double rooks, now is just the best way to not blunder a whole rook ourselves, and I think we did a pretty good job. There was some I mean, this move was pretty nice. So now I'm setting up a check, and after that I just went right back to where I came from, because now he opened the diagonal. So I'm able to attack red. Now he covered the bishop, so I wasn't able to. And here was... yeah, but then now I'm getting there. So now we are setting up a mating nut, and finally this move sets up a checkmate, and there's no stopping that, and that's checkmate. So I hope you enjoy this game, and hopefully you can take something away from it. See you in the next one. Bye.